Welcome to the Joy to the World podcast. Each day during December, we will explore together passages from the Bible that teach us about God's joy in this world, His Son, Jesus Christ. Make sure you subscribe to whichever platform you get your podcast from, or listen on our YouTube channel by searching for Annalong Presbyterian Church.
Day 14, Isaiah chapter 53, read from the English Standard Version. Who has believed what he has heard from us? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? For he grew up before him like a young plant, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no form or majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And as one from whom men hide their faces, he was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the chastisement that brought us peace, and with his wounds we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray, we have turned every one to his own way. And the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. Like a lamb that is led to the slaughter, and like a sheep that before its shearers is silent, so he opened not his mouth. By oppression and judgment he was taken away. And as for his generation, who considered that he was cut off out of the land of the living, stricken for the transgressions of my people. And they made his grave with the wicked, and with a rich man in his death, although he had done no violence, and there was no deceit in his mouth. Yet it was the will of the Lord to crush him. He has put him to grief. When his soul makes an offering for guilt, he shall see his offspring. He shall prolong his days. The will of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. Out of the anguish of his soul he shall see and be satisfied. By his knowledge shall the righteous one, my servant, make many to be accounted righteous, and he shall bear their iniquities. Therefore I will divide him a portion with the many, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he poured out his soul to death, and was numbered with the transgressors. Yet he bore the sin of many, and makes intercession for the transgressors.
It has been often said that Christmas is in the planning. What people mean by this is that Christmas will go smoothly if it is all planned. From buying presents well in advance to ordering the food. Then on the days leading up to the 25th of December, plans and timetables are put in place for the collection of food, its preparation and cooking. All done so when we sit down at the table, our plan for a perfect Christmas will be fulfilled. Some people start planning for Christmas a whole 12 months in advance. As soon as one Christmas is over, they are out buying decorations in the sales and writing up ideas they have seen so they can include them in the following year for their Christmas plans. We are back with Isaiah today, and we are reading from the end of his book. In chapter 53, Isaiah is making it clear what will happen to the coming Messiah. He describes him as a suffering servant, and the detail here is striking when we compare it with the story of Christ that we read in the New Testament. Better than any annual Christmas plan, God had known his plan of salvation from the foundation of the world, and it included Jesus being born as a child. As Isaiah says, he had no form or majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him. He would be rejected by his people, and it was God's will and plan that he would be crushed. But he will be victorious, because out of his anguished soul he will see and be satisfied. But did you notice what he will do? Isaiah says, he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the chastisement that brought us peace, and with his wounds we are healed. This suffering servant would come for us. It would be because of him that we would know forgiveness of sins and freedom from the evil one. Through his suffering and sacrifice, we would know peace with God and an eternal dwelling with him. This is the suffering servant. This is Christ. Never take Christ's suffering for granted. Know it and enjoy it. It costs us nothing, but it cost God, his one and only Son. Thank you for listening to this Joy to the World podcast. Please make sure you subscribe to wherever you get your podcasts from so that you can receive this directly every day. And also, if you're listening on YouTube, do subscribe and click that bell icon so that you too can be notified when each episode is available.